Alright, what's up guys? Today we're going to talk about the Special League coming up, and we're going to apply our Josephine skin here real quick, just for fun. The Special League this time is really different because it looks like normal, it's just normal real-time arena. It's not 4-star, it's nothing like that. It's exactly normal arena, except with the pre-ban that they've been doing for some of the tournaments. So I wanted to talk about pre-ban strategy. It's a really nice topic because there's not a ton of options. There's I ban something, you ban something, and then the only variable in that setup is am I going to be playing first or picking second. So I thought I would look at some of the replays of my most recent matches and then how I would apply the pre-ban to those specific instances. So just looking at the picks here, I was second pick, right? So I know I'm picking second. So I need to think, well, what is the most likely first pick my opponent's going to take? And statistically, it's most likely Molong, followed by, I think, Gani and then Wusa. So if I wanted to deny him a Molong, my pre-ban would be Molong. But I think, for me, the main strategy for pre-ban is never ban a monster you have and you use a lot, because you're banning yourself out of that monster should he not pick Molong. If he's a Gani user, then I'm more than happy to take the Molong. But if I've already banned the Molong, I've kind of banned myself out of Gani and Molong. So my first kind of tip is don't ban yourself out of monsters that you want to use. So I don't intend to ever ban Molong. I don't intend to ever pre-ban Gani or Perna. Those are kind of my bread and butter. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is I think if you're picking first, you could pre-ban the counter. So if I'm knowing I'm going to pick Molong, I could ban out, Diana, something that I think is a really pretty hard Molong counter. Because if I know I'm picking first, then I can go ahead and ban out the counter. He'll have to pick his backup counter, and then I can ban that in the regular ban phase. If I think he'll let me have the Molong. So that's another thing. You can ban the direct counter of what you're going to use. If you're picking second and you kind of know what your pick second stuff looks like for me, whenever someone picks Molong, I generally pick Gani Perna right away because I need that DPS from Perna, and I don't have a lot of high quality DPS. It's basically Molong and Perna. So if I know I'm picking second, the odds of me getting Perna are pretty high because most people don't first pick Perna, and I don't anticipate Perna being pre-banned a lot. So I might pick my Perna counter for the pre-ban. So for me, I'm probably going to be pre-banning Tessa a lot because whenever I pick a Perna, I'm going to see either a Tessa or a Okeanos every time. That's just how it goes. And it's usually the Tessa. People usually pick Tessa. So that makes my Perna that much more effective, and then I can deal with other Perna counters in the regular ban stage. So if I pre-ban the Tessa, I can regular ban the Okeanos, which works great because I don't really want to use Tessa, and I might want to use Okeanos. So it keeps it free for my regular pick ban. The last kind of major thing I think might be relevant for the pre-ban is that monster you don't have that's really, really good. So for me, Hathor is going to be a heavy pre-ban in a lot of matches. Like you can see here, I got Gani Hathor right away, and so then I'm in this hard place of I don't want him to have a speed leader in beta, because that's awful. I don't want them to have Oberon. I don't want them to have Gani Hathor, so what do? The pre-ban will solve the Gani Hathor situation for me while letting me still have my Gani, because I don't have a Hathor. So if I pre-ban Hathor, that breaks up his combo, and then he has to come at it from some other direction. So if he didn't have a Hathor here, maybe I ban out the Oberon and say, I don't see a lot of DPS. What can you do? He'd have to bring a different DPS. So that's another thing. I would say ban out your most feared monster you don't have, and that's probably what I'm going to do a lot. But I intend to try different strategies for the pre-ban because it might become a more normal thing sometime. And I think it's an interesting second step. It requires you to increase your monster pool, have a little bit more to draw from, but then it's a second tier of strategy because if people know what you do and they take away, your first plan and your backup plan, that's a problem. All right, let's look at some other ones here. So in this instance, had I pre-banned, my pre-ban wouldn't affect his picks at all, which is ideally what you want on the receiving end of a pre-ban. You want them to I want to go into a match and have them pre-ban Hathor because I can't pick it, so ban it all day, I think one thing that some people might do that I think is not a good idea is don't pre-ban premium LD Nat 5s. Don't pre-ban Artemis, don't pre-ban, Ragdolls. It's going to happen, and you're going to be, if you are thinking that way of pre-banning them, you're going to be so paranoid about banning that one specific thing that's awful and has a hugely high win rate, and you never want to face it. But the odds of them picking it is super low because very few people have it. So when you fight the people that have Ragdoll Artamiel, you know, just lose. Just take the loss and move on with your day, because that's how that's gonna go. Okay. So in this instance, the Hathor ban would be nice, and then it would open me up to other options for the regular ban. I could ban Ganny, I could ban a speed lead, I could ban the will clear with Tiana. It really just frees me up, and it forces him to do something different. You know, these Ganny Hathor users, it's their bread and butter. It's a really safe climb up the ranks, and so that's why people use it. But if you don't have it, or you don't like facing it, it's nice because then you can just knock it out all the way in Special League. I think this will be a really interesting Special League because it's basically real RTA plus another layer of strategy, which I think is kind of cool. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to not having to re-rune any of my monsters for this Special League. You know, I don't have to rune up a Lucian specifically for it or whatever. So that'll be nice. That's kind of all I can think of with the pre-ban strategy. I think it's going to be really interesting. I don't think the meta will be shaken up too badly. I think a lot of Molongs will be pre-banned by people that don't have Molongs, which I think is a correct pre-ban. I think that's really smart. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys some Special League action with pre-ban and pre-ban strategy. So hope this was helpful. If you guys are planning to do it, good luck, and I will catch you next time. Take care, everybody.